Hello and welcome back to Confessionals and Congressionals. Boy, oh boy, do we have an episode for you. The Challenge, Season 41, Episodes 8 and 9. We got a double header because we've been a bit busy and we haven't been able to do an episode in the last week. So we got a big one, Cass.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm sure there's just thousands of people that have been wondering what happened to us. So
For sure. Yep.
we're here. We're okay.
Okay, so Cass, we have to get into obviously the two episodes of the challenge. We have some cheating going on this week. We have some people really pissing me off. People are still gunning for CT and acting like it's justice for Lekka, which it's just like, guys, I'm bored.
Yeah, I have so many thoughts. I will say we have been so busy that I have really barely checked in with pop culture. I will go ahead and say my one little thing, which is that this is all 100% speculation and 100% rumors. So I have no idea if it's true or not, but there is a lot of rumbling that Kelley Wolf may be in treatment.
Yeah, and boy, am I relieved because we have not seen her on the internet for what, like it's been 5 days at least?
If not more. Yeah, it's been more than that. So we now know that originally there was talk that it might be a 72-hour hold. We're now over the time period that would be going on. Nothing has been confirmed, but there is a lot of rumblings that that's what's going on. And so we're happy. We're thrilled.
Yeah. Yeah, it didn't seem like she was going to go willingly, so probably she's on some sort of like mandatory hold that's longer than 72 hours. I don't know, like the amounts, like do they go from 72 hours to 7 days?
Well, there has, again, and this is coming from Kelley Wolf herself, mixed in with some speculation. So
Okay.
Kelley Wolf herself had said on Instagram a few weeks ago, there was a night where she was really out of control, posting again and again and again. And this was the night of the visit. And that night, people were clearly...
the night of the visit.
Well, I didn't want to go too far with it, but the one where she went live with that night, she had kept posting, and there was one of her posts where she was really, really angry. It was kind of scary. And people had been saying she needs help. Has anybody called anyone, like on her Instagram? And she said, you better not call anyone because he's got a 6-month hold waiting for me. If I am taken involuntarily one more time, I have to go for 180 days. And that sound like, yeah, because remember, the public, we can see what court filings are made in the civil case, but we can't read the actual documents. We can only see what document was filed. And there had been one when he dropped the restraining order where we knew that they had a stipulated agreement. We couldn't read what the stipulations were, but it meant that they had agreed to a couple things. And so there's some talk that was one of the things that she had agreed. If she was taken for a third hold, she would do a full 6 months.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then that would be legally binding and that could be enough. So,
yeah, I have a hunch that that's what's going on then, because she was not, in the days leading up to it, was not acting like she was willing to go in. I mean, she was on a mission to prove that she was not mentally unwell. She was like really trying to prove that, posting all of these like medical records and stuff like that. There's rumors that she was going to her doctor's offices and trying to get paperwork to prove that she wasn't mentally unwell and that she was basically being persecuted for being a passionate woman. That's kind of the whole like synopsis that she's come away with, is like, I'm a passionate mother. I have lost everything because external forces that I don't have control over, not because of my mental health.
And people that are claiming that they know her, again, we don't know, but people that are claiming that they know her have said that that's what led to the 72-hour hold, was her going in to a hospital and saying, I need paperwork that states clearly how well I am. And the progression of that discussion is what led to that. That is, again, the rumors that are out there.
Right. They're like, hey, girl, we're so glad to see you again. We've been waiting for you.
Right. And we are so excited to get you that paperwork. We're just going to need you to follow us for a minute. Just
Yeah.
for a sec.
Put on this armband.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a
You
little
are
code on it.
right. You are here to help the patients because you are an expert.
Yeah.
And so just this way.
Yeah, it must be so tough to get people to agree to treatment like that. Like this, she didn't agree, but like even to get them admitted when they're in such a state of like delusion about their own well-being.
Yeah. Yeah. And there are definitely abuses within that system. Right. Like
Of course.
I have talked to people that have felt like if they had good insurance, they were pushed even harder to stay longer, versus those that didn't, who they're like 72 hours, get out of here. And the person is clearly unwell and all of that, I'm not saying that there's not abuses that happen. We obviously know that with the conservatorships, there can be awful abuses, but that doesn't mean they're all abuses. It doesn't mean that there aren't people that need to be there.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be naive to think that abuses don't go on or that people don't leave those facilities and think, okay, I mean, I kind of just got traumatized a little bit, but with Kelley specifically, it's like she needs a period of being on medication so that she can like stabilize and like being off whatever drug she's taking or, allegedly like at least drinking, and take all of that stuff away so that she can stabilize. And the only environment she's going to be able to do that in, clearly, is an environment where you cannot leave.
Right. And I will say, in my incredible, amazing Reddit group that I'm in, that I just love, we were just talking about like what led to the fascination, like what got people watching this and all of that. And I think that an interesting thing that we all talked about was that a lot of the people that are invested in this story are an older generation, like I would say a lot of us are in our 40s, right? And
Old.
Right, very old,
people.
like, approaching death, we know. And what we were saying is that I think when you turn 40, you, for one, think like you've, by that point in your life, watched a lot of people succumb or struggle a lot with mental health issues or addiction.
Yeah.
And when you make it to your 40s and that hasn't happened, you're almost like, whoo, all right, that I was not one of those ones. And then to see someone who seemingly had it all by outward appearances and was so poised and so put together suddenly crash out, it's a little jarring. You're like, oh, fuck, so it could still happen? What? I thought I made it.
Yeah.
And it's just shocking.
Yeah, I know. It's like there's the aspect of worrying if that can happen to you. There's the aspect of like watching someone crash out and being like, this is a window into an experience you don't often get to watch. And there's a lot of people that have just been longtime fans and like want her, are very invested in her well-being and want her to be well. And so it's just like, it is like a multidimensional thing. And then, we always do watch these things just like with Britney Spears or Aaron Carter or Amanda Bynes. It's like we watch these celebrities spiral and think like, okay, is this just the paparazzi making them look bad? Is this just articles making them look bad? Like, is it possible that they're totally fine and that the PR machine and like celebrity and all of that stuff is making it look a specific way? Or is something really weird happening here? And why is it that this type of person, the child star or the person who gets famous young or whatever, is like always the person that spirals like this? How do you avoid spiraling like that? Can you even blame them? Like, it's like there's so much going on. And of course, like, you can't blame them if they have a mental illness, but I just mean like sometimes when it's like early drug abuse and things like that, and it's like they get into drugs when they're really young and then somehow come out unscathed like Hillary Duff. And then you have somebody like Amanda Bynes where it's like, you don't know if she's going to be okay at the end of the day.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's just been, and I think all of us, you'd probably be really hard pressed to find anyone that hasn't been touched by addiction or mental health issues sets somewhere in their life, whether it is a family member, a friend, or themselves,
Yeah.
and so
Most of us have it on
right.
multiple levels.
Yeah, exactly.
All three
Right.
for 500. Yeah.
Cheers. So yeah, it's been quiet on Instagram, and we're all hopeful that it remains that way.
Yep, we are praying for you, Kelley. And in other pop culture news, The Valley has been filming, and the word on the street is that Sheana and Brock are not going to be in this season.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I definitely believe they've been downgraded, but I struggle to believe it because I feel like you've suddenly got a little bit of juice in that story. Like I could see like her and Lala arguing. I could see Lala confronting her about things that she said in the book that you're saying that we can't be fake and we have to share our whole lives, and then you choose to tell in the book this and didn't share it with, like, it feels like there was a little bit of what they need is drama. Unfortunately, that's just the way that the show is, and it does feel like she could have contributed some. So it's hard for me to believe. I do think that they're going to frame it like she's on the outs with everybody for a while in the season, and that's why we're not seeing her film with everyone yet.
Yeah. They're gonna punish her one way or another because they don't like what she said in the memoir, I guess.
Yeah.
And so yeah, whether it's like giving her an edit that makes her look even more desperate and delusional than normal, or whether she's just not going to be in the season, but she's definitely not a main cast member. Like, I think that much is clear because she has not been at any of the main parties that they've filmed for. Yeah, and I think like maybe it's just the side of the internet I'm on, but nobody wants to see her on their screens. Like, I feel like the overwhelming, which is kind of good for TV though, because it's like you want people to talk about the show. Sheena definitely brings drama. She definitely brings like she knows all of them and she knows everybody's secrets. She always knows everybody's secrets. So like she brings a lot to a show. I feel like they just know that they've got her exactly where they want her at all times, and they will leverage that.
Yeah, I think so. And I don't care what people say the internet is saying, because we say all sorts of things that we quietly to other people are like, no, I don't mean it. Like, just like how we all wanted Jax off our TV. Now,
Yeah.
look, he was without a doubt abusive, not a good person. So I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm fine with that. Like, at some point, regardless of what entertainment you bring me, you're just not, well enough to be on our screens. But Sandoval is another example of everybody that just wanted to see him devoured, eaten alive, get him off my TV. I never want to see this shit bag again. We all felt like we'd been cheated on, the whole thing. And then, very quickly to our friends, even though it was an unpopular opinion, we were like, you think maybe we could have Sandoval back?
Well, I don't know about very quickly. It took us 2 years and seeing him on the traders and like having a little distance from him. But it's like, yeah, Sandoval doesn't cause harm everywhere he goes. He just did one really bad and ongoing thing, but like he did one thing. Jax causes harm everywhere he goes, and like it just becomes hard to justify keeping him on the screen when
I want to wrap up our thoughts on Sheana. So I don't think that she's toxic enough to deserve to be off our screens. The only reason I wouldn't want to see her is that she doesn't bring anything. But if they would have figured out how to like kind of break that, fourth wall again and talk about the book and the fact that she wasn't open, like, I would have been fine seeing some drama with her. I don't hate her in a way that's like, get her off my TV. I just felt like all of her interactions last season of The Valley were incredibly forced. She had nothing to bring.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And meanwhile was hiding an affair.
Right.
And you're just
but
like,
I'd love to see that
dude.
called out. Yeah.
And I watched that season again recently, and she was crying on the bed with Lala, being like, why can't I ever have my moment? Do you remember that?
I do.
And it's like, girlfriend, you really live on a different planet with zero self-awareness. She has no self-awareness. But for me, she's a character I love to hate. I think she's so fucking annoying, but like I don't think she's too toxic to be on the screen, like you said. Like she's not really toxic at all. She's just messy and like not very self-aware. It's kind
Right.
of
And
what we
isn't
want.
exactly. I
Yeah.
mean, listen, I don't know how Sister Wives has gotten one more season, which I hear is going to be the actual last season.
Yeah.
But when I tell you that for years, nothing happened on this show.
Yeah.
I have no, like, we all just hung on so we could see when the divorces finally came to fruition, right? But for years, you were just like, why am I watching this? This is, you had to watch it just to talk about how much you hated it because it was so
Yeah.
boring. So boring. So I just think people got to be careful what they wish for with the Valley. I did see, though, Zach posted on his Instagram and they were all like on a bus together. And I'm like, okay, well, there is Janet.
Janet, Jason, and Schwartz.
So it seems like Janet has made it
Yep.
into the next season. I'm curious to see. And they all looked happy and ready to go on a trip.
And it also looked like Brittany's boyfriend might be filming an episode or something, like might be in part of the season. Yeah. I think she said on her podcast that he wouldn't be, that he wasn't her boyfriend and that he wouldn't be on the season, but he was at a cast location, I'm pretty sure, where they were all filming. And I thought that the rule, Andy Cohen, was like, if your significant other's here, we're putting a mic on him. So I wouldn't be surprised. And honestly, it's Brittany, so I wouldn't be surprised. Sorry, Brittany, but
I wouldn't.
You've never had good judgment, not for a moment in your entire life.
I know this is probably an unpopular opinion, but I've really run out of patience for Brittany.
Oh, I don't think that's an unpopular opinion. People fucking hate her.
Really?
Yes. At least on the side of the internet I'm on, people think she's a horrible friend. They're irritated with how she's handling this whole thing. They still think she's an alcoholic because of that thing Jack said. They still think that she is overweight and should lose weight and like body shame her a lot. They said that the special forces thing hopefully will show her that she needs to get in shape. People, at least what I see, like people do not like her. They ran out of patience for her a long time ago. They think her accent is fake. They think she just married Jax to get famous.
I don't hate her this much.
No, I don't either.
I just love when, like, for me, and I know that you're slowly coming around to my side on this. For me, I very much love if I can watch a reality show where I see someone grow, like even with Sister Wives, to see who Christine was in the earlier seasons and her find herself and find her happiness and get out of that and take accountability for her side of things was incredible to watch. And I like that, right? And so I think that we have seen a little bit of that with Schwartz, with his podcast and his growth. Like, I think he has grown a lot as a person.
I think he has too.
Brittany just seems incapable of any like self-reflection, any growth. She still seems surprised by things that are not surprising, and so it's so one-dimensional that I'm just over it.
I wonder what it's like in real life for her, but I completely agree. I think the only way that she'll redeem herself for me this season is if we see growth, and if we don't, then she's gonna like lose me as not a supporter. I always hope that she like does well, but
we always wish everybody well.
We always wish everybody well. Yeah, that is so true.
It is.
Even I don't really say mean things.
I don't want anything bad for like Tom Sandoval. I really don't. Like, I was not one of those people that was like, you should not exist.
Right.
We make mistakes.
You firmly stand on the platform that everybody has the right to exist, even when they're shitty people.
I really do. Yeah. And I think like the moment you take that away, then you rob someone of the ability to grow.
Yeah.
And I don't like that.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
All right, Cass. Well, should we move on to a little gossip about the challenge before we get into the episode?
Yes, let me hear it.
Okay. And I'll talk about the Jack stuff on TikTok. Come find me there. But basically, honestly, I do think he's sober. I do think he's growing. But the growth, babes, it's going to be slow. It's going to be really slow. And he's still very annoying.
Yeah, that will never change.
Yeah, he does think that he owns the women that he's married to, and he does say basically that.
That does not surprise me at all, and I think that that's a misinterpretation that he has of the values that his dad tried to give him. I do not think that's what his dad meant. I don't actually believe that's what his dad felt. That is Jax's misinterpretation of the value system that I think was given to him.
I mean, he's a narcissist, and narcissists just think that like that's how they see the world. Cruz is my son. That is my wife. I own them. They are mine.
Yeah.
And when they sleep with somebody else, even after we're done, I'm still never going to get over that because that was mine and you used my thing. That's what he said. He said, you used my thing.
Yeah, I have nothing else to say about Jax Taylor.
I gasped. Okay. So the Ashley and Anissa fight, have you seen anything online about what people are saying about that?
I actually have. I have it in my notes. I've got 5 pages of notes. I'm so proud of myself today.
Wow.
I know. But I did. I wasn't going to bring it up till we got there, but I did watch a little bit, enough to hear that it was much worse than what we saw.
Yeah.
And some questions about why the editing choices were made.
Yeah.
Classic. That's what I heard.
Yep. Well, we'll get into it when we get there then. How about that?
Okay.
Okay. And then Justin also said some things on Johnny Ben podcast.
I can't believe you just said his name. What have we said about this, Lauren?
He is gross to me. I've done a 180-degree turn. He's gross to me. I don't like him anymore. Like, I don't even think I can't believe I ever thought he was hot.
Really?
Yeah.
What was said that pushed you over the edge?
It's the whole person.
Okay.
He didn't even say anything that bad. He's just obnoxious. Like, he cannot help but bring everything back to himself. He's only thinking about himself. Like, everything that Justin would say, he would be like, yeah, well, when I did that thing, blah, blah, blah. He's a lot like Nick Viall in that way, where, like, he can't help but bring up the fact that he was on The Bachelor. And it's like, yeah, we know. Like, that's the whole basis of this podcast and why you are interviewing me. Yeah. But Justin did spill some tea. So we'll talk about that as we go through as well.
Okay, let's do it.
I suffered through it at 1.5 speed.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm proud of you.
Okay, so episode 8. Oh, hello. Before we move on, please like, subscribe, comment. We would love for you to just hit that little subscribe button and let us know you're watching. We are so happy that you're here. Thank you for giving us encouragement. We are just 2 moms who are doing this for fun, and we don't make any money on it yet. And maybe one day we will, but it still takes a lot of time and effort and love. And we would love for you to support. So that's all I have to say about that.
We want a community. We want a community.
You're such a f***ing liar, Camille.
Don't take care. Hope to see you never.
Cabs are here!
Dude, stop acting like you're the number one guy in this group, man. I'm the number one guy in this group.
Things are about to get murderous.
All right, episode 8. So, first of all, a lot of people are getting on my nerves in these episodes. Turbo is at the top of my shit list, and it kind of goes down from there. But that fucking guy can get the fuck out of the house. I don't like him.
Yeah, I don't like him either. I don't like him, which is unfortunate because I enjoyed him at the beginning of the season.
I know, because he can be quippy and interesting. Certainly. I bet he's one of a kind, the type of person that you meet and you're like, oh, that guy's one of a kind, but like maybe not in a good way.
Yep, I totally agree. Totally agree.
Yeah, him gunning for CT is really making me mad. And he takes really low blows, and that's really annoying to me. And he acts like he like owns the woman that he chooses, just like Jax. Like they have kind of that like energy of like, I get to pick the woman and I want that woman and she's mine now.
Yes. Yes.
And Michaela throwing the challenge, fuck that, dude. She's so annoying too. I hated that shit. It's like there's a way to play this game while maintaining your integrity, if you have any. And some of these people don't realize that.
Well, and like it's not just maintaining your integrity. There's a way to play this game without being mean. And some of them did not get that memo, and I don't have patience for it.
Yeah, I don't either. I know it's a game and it's a strategy game and everything like that. And that sometimes you have to go against your allies, and sometimes you have to vote in a way that, but you don't have to be mean. You don't have to pick on people. You don't have to be a bully. You don't have to make people feel small. Like what? No, that's just being an asshole.
Right. I don't want to hear any of that. Like, oh, well, that's just part of the game. It's part of the social aspect. No, it's not. You're just finding an excuse to be a dick. And that is always how I felt about He Who Must Not Be Named.
We are starting out episode 8. We're at the house after the selection, and Tay has just crushed her elimination, and they're talking her up in the kitchen. They're like, never come for Tay. She's such a boss, all that kind of stuff. And at this point, she's partnered with Leroy, and she's worked with him before, and she really likes him. And we kind of get these confessionals being like, we work well together. I like him. Tay likes a vet that people aren't looking at.
Yeah.
I think that's
agree.
like her. She stays behind the scenes, even though she's a massively good competitor. I feel like
I do too. Yeah, I do too. I like her.
Yeah, I like her too. But yeah, I think like later in the selection and stuff, I think that's kind of her strategy. Is like, I'm gonna pick somebody nobody's looking at so that we don't have any targets on our back.
Yes.
And at this point, Leroy has like 9 points. So
yeah.
Not doing
no.
great. And he knows that. He talks in this episode about how like he knows this is not a good season for him, that he's old, that like he's not as a young whippersnapper whose like social game is good. Like I think he knows that if he makes it to the end, it's gonna be he floats to the end.
I think this season, a lot of the veterans know that, and they're honest about it, which it just makes me like them more.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. They're like, we didn't realize that you young guys were going to come in here and not have any fears whatsoever. And so
right,
we're going to throw the onions in the bushes and keep running.
We'll get there.
Okay, so everyone's strategizing about who they want to work with. And this is the part where Olivia's like, because they just realized that they are going to pick next week who they're going to be matched up with forever. Not forever, but you know. And so everybody's strategizing. And Olivia at this point, she gets a bit of a humility sandwich later, but a humble pie, that's what it is.
Yeah. What did you call it? Did you say a humility sandwich?
Yeah.
I love it. I'm going to write that down. Humility sandwich.
Yeah, she gets a humility sandwich later, but right now she thinks that she's got the pick of the litter, and she's basically going around to the new threat dudes and be like, why are you going to be a good partner for me? Why should I pick you? And they're all like, girl, I don't want to be partnered with you. Everybody is looking at you. You've got a target on your back. That's what I thought was it's not that people don't like her or don't think she's an amazing competitor, but it's more just that like she has made herself the queen bee of the house, and so people are just going to be trying to get her out.
Yeah, I agree. And this is also the scene where they tell us like, so we have an upstairs alliance and a downstairs alliance. And first of all, they do like an image on the screen where they highlight the people that are in the upstairs alliance and the people that are in the downstairs alliance. This is the moment when I knew production was listening to our podcast. And they were like, all right, guys, quick edit because nobody's understanding what's going on. Let's go. So I'm also like in my notes, I'm like, this is the first we've heard of an upstairs downstairs alliance. Like it was like for a while it was like there was a UK alliance, and then at some point in the show they figured out that it was like vets versus new threats, and then this week they're like it's upstairs versus downstairs, and I'm like nobody has any idea.
No, nobody has any idea. I did hear that it was like that it was room based essentially. I think I read that though on Reddit or something, that like basically the people that were roomed together were allied a lot of the time, so that would make sense, the upstairs downstairs thing. But yeah, I mean it's just like nobody has any idea. I think everybody in the house is also confused about who they can trust, especially because they've had to switch partners every week, so it's like they don't have time to like build those relationships with the person they're actually working with. So they're like, I don't know. I mean, we worked well together, but who fucking knows? They might be best friends with so-and-so. I don't know.
Yeah. And in the same time, like as we're listening to all of these, you know, the gameplay conversations, who we should align with and whatnot, this is the same time when there's like a confessional of Will saying that he's still upset with Dee for saying his name. which then
Yeah.
made him the hangnail since Izzy went home. And in the confessional, he says that he just needs an apology. Cut to D giving him an apology and him very much acting like it's not good enough.
I missed that, but yeah, I mean, he's a petty bitch.
Yeah. Yes, for sure. I was just like that. Yeah, it didn't line up. He's like, I just need her to say she's sorry. And then like they're in the kitchen and she's like, I'm really sorry. And he's like, whatever, it's fine.
God, I hate it when people respond like that. Will has been such a wild ride for me because the first time I watched these episodes, I was like, he's so annoying. But really, I have to kind of, if I bring out my empathy, I'm like, okay, I think he's very sensitive.
Yeah.
I think he's very emotional. I don't think he has any emotional regulation skills. He goes from 0 to 100, and usually his 100 is anger because he is so like masculine coded and like Marines and all that kind of stuff, drinking, covering it all, that he just like the only thing that he expresses is anger. And it's like, dude, your fucking feelings are hurt because the girl you liked didn't like you back. And so now you're being petty and vindictive. And like, no, of course apology isn't going to work because that's not what you're mad about. And so,
Yeah.
you know, it's just like, I guess in this game, it's interesting to watch, but like, he's hard to sympathize with because he's obviously mad about other things.
Yeah, for sure. There's like a ton of like resentment and anger in him that just seems incredibly misplaced and about
Totally.
something else. You know, like
Yes.
it's so intense that I'm like, is this really about your mom? You know, like, because it seems really deep. Actually did write during episode 9 in my notes, Nani, this is all incredibly red flag behavior.
Yeah.
That's what I wrote down in episode 9. So
Are you talking about the dinner scene?
the dinner scene and then her trying to talk to him afterwards.
Yeah.
That,
it was over.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was uncomfortable. I'm like, nope, that's not a guy that's going to be able to have a conversation about anything.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing that annoying that happens in the kitchen when they're all like discussing is Turbo. So Turbo has decided he's got it out for a few people. He's got it out for CT because I don't know why he has it out for these people other than potentially just like, Okay, so the other thing is just that like Turbo is gunning for a couple different people. Whenever he's like trying to hurt someone's feelings, he takes like such low blows. Either talks about the way somebody looks or like them being fat or like, or no, he kind of was like James in that way. Sorry, that's what I meant. Like James Kennedy, where it's just like, you're either fat or you're ugly or you're, you know, stupid. And it's like, it really reveals the things that he cares about.
You know, I actually don't think it reveals the things that he cares about. I think it's like what I see whenever I've dealt with people like that's
Yeah.
like where they go first. For me, it's always like it shows me like your lack of depth or intelligence because you're unable to pinpoint what it is, like what it is that's triggering you or making you upset about what I'm doing. And so you have no choice but to go for the low hanging fruit that means nothing about anything.
Yeah.
Rather than intellectually know, here's what you really are. So yeah, that's how I always feel. I'm like, I don't think he cares that somebody's overweight. It's just that like, he doesn't know how to articulate why he's upset about this thing.
Yeah, that would make sense, especially also just because his second language is English. But yeah, so he says at this point, so he's also going for Gay Derek, and he says that his nickname is FF, aka fake as fuck.
Which
At
I'm
this point-
surprised he came up with that with his English the way it is. You know, it seems like
know.
sometimes he picks and chooses how much English he knows.
Yeah. That's funny. And yeah, in episode 9, apparently not enough. Dude, I was so annoyed that Sydney was helping him so much. I mean, they've obviously been wanting to be partners this whole time. I think that at least for the last few episodes, because when I went back and rewatched, I was like, oh, they've been like buddies.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that they thought that this might be what was coming. that eventually they would have to pair up with somebody permanently. And so they have been like keeping an eye on each other and keeping each other in the loop and stuff. But she helps him way too much, and he would have been fucked on that challenge. He would not have won that challenge without her.
100%.
Sorry to jump ahead.
Yeah.
So, okay, so this is also when we see Theo getting his knee checked, and this is kind of our first indication that like Theo might get disqualified for a medical leave. So we will get into that later. We get to the challenge, and Anissa says that heights over water is not a fictivity, and Theo says that he loves heights and he's excited. CT says he's hopeful for the first time in a while because of his partner.
Yeah.
Sad. And then the challenge begins, and this is when we learn that Theo is being medically disqualified from this challenge until his MRI results come back. So in this challenge, we learn that.
Sorry, this is just weird to me because I'm like, I don't know. If you have ever been to the hospital and got an MRI, I wait about an hour and they come tell me.
I think that he hadn't gotten it yet.
Okay.
I think he gets it later this day, and then it comes back the next morning, I think. Or something like that. Yeah. But they for sure probably could have gotten it to him earlier, but they didn't. And he's so annoyed. So we learned that this is like a heights over water challenge. They have to climb up this like wall. It's got 4 sides to it. It rotates in the air, and they have to carry blocks to the top and then put them in this like ridge at the top, and they kind of have to pass them back and forth. So once one person falls, the other person's kind of screwed, and has to jump off too. That's kind of the gist I got.
Yeah, and the scoring is based on both progression and time. So it's how many blocks you can get up and what amount of time it takes for both you and your partner to reach the platform you have to swim to once you jump off. So there's got to be a little bit of strategy involved about deciding when you want to jump, when you want to swim, things like that.
Yeah, like if it's going to take you a long time to get the block up, is it just worth it to start swimming? And the first group they're kind of at a disadvantage because they don't know how many, like the groups that follow know how many blocks the other groups got up, so they kind of know what they're aiming for, and that gives them a bit of an advantage, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, so this challenge was super hard. Like some people didn't get any blocks up, a lot of people got 1 or maybe 2 blocks up out of 5. And meanwhile, Jeremy absolutely crushes this challenge. I mean, he is a climbing machine and ends up getting 4 blocks up there.
Yeah, he did great. I also felt like John A. and Turbo really leaned into the strategy of the game. Like, as soon as John A. fell, Turbo knew, jump and start swimming. Don't waste another minute. We're not going to win, but at this point, but we can still make sure we don't come in last. I'm going to jump and we're swimming. And they were one of the few that really leaned into the strategy side. Yeah.
And what placement did they get? Do you remember?
That I did not write down. I just knew that they were higher than a lot of them.
Yeah. Some people got 0 blocks. Yeah. So Will said, this is a point where Will says that D won't go to the top. They're partnered, by the way, because Theo got medically disqualified. Will was the hangnail. Now Will is partnered with Theo's partner, D. And so he's pissed and he's so resentful. You're right. That is such a good word. He's so resentful towards her. He's like, so then I have to do all the work because she won't climb up, which is annoying. But like just the way he says it shows just how much like animosity he has about the whole thing.
Yes.
He's petty. So So anyway, he's annoyed, but I think he gets 2 up. Tay and Leroy don't get any. They fall. Jeremy gets 4. CT and Michaela get 1 or 2, and then CT falls. Oh, and he like the way he falls too, like he was mid climb and he like fell sideways down the thing, like a pretty. I don't think it hurt. I don't know if it hurt or anything, but just like kind of a funny and unpredicted fall. Like I don't think he knew he was falling until he was already in the air.
100%. And Michaela has already decided she's going to throw the challenge.
Yeah.
So she makes sure she takes her time staying on the thing as long as possible. Then make sure she jumps off of the wrong side of it, whereas he's telling her like jump when you're on this closer to where we have to swim. She purposely makes sure she waits. We have people on the shoreline screaming justice for Lekka, which is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Anyone who still thinks he threw this challenge, I have to believe that you've never watched this show before, because this is not, CT would not have thrown it that way. There's no way. And then she proceeds to like fake doggy paddle her swim. I am so proud of CT. He is another one that I love watching for the growth, because this is such a different CT from the CT we saw. Like, this is how you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be kind of a dipshit and self-centered in your 20s. That is just who we are.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the time you hit this age, you are supposed to be more compassionate, calmer. You realize it's not all about you. And I was so proud of CT for staying calm and not drowning her.
Yeah, I know. He was so calm. He was so calm that I'm like, does he realize that she's doing this on purpose? But of course he did. Everybody did. It was, and he, at one point he's trying to like pull her by her life jacket, and she's like, you're choking me. And it's just like, shut the fuck up.
Yes. Yeah, and he knows. Like, he actually says, I'm not buying the dog paddle.
Yeah.
You know, like, he's very aware, and he's just taking it on the chin. And he comes out looking fantastic.
Yeah, so far this whole season he looks good, considering how much shit he's been getting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this part really pissed me off. Michaela was already on my shit list, and now she really is on my shit list. And if she wins this season, I'm gonna be so pissed. My first season, and if she wins, I'm gonna be so fucking pissed. So Tay says, because I want somebody to win that I actually like.
Me too.
Not that she didn't earn it, because like she's working really hard and she's doing a good job, and I know she's strategizing and all that shit, but like I want somebody to win that I actually like. If it
makes you feel any better, right now my gut would be that she doesn't win, because although I don't have a whole lot of faith in production today.
Yeah.
I will say that I don't know that they would be giving her the edit that we're getting where we hate her if she was going to make it and is the winner.
That's interesting. Yeah.
That's my theory. We're going to find out though.
Unless she's just that unlikable.
That is, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and so when they announced that CT and Michaela lose, Michaela is grinning from ear to ear, along with a bunch of other people. And I'm just like, these fucking people, my ego would not be able to handle that. My feelings would be so hurt. I would just be taking it so personally if they were all acting that way towards me. And it's like, what the fuck did I ever do to you guys?
Yes, I'm telling you, no, I can't. I'm getting emotional now just like trying to imagine it. Like, no, like,
no.
God, I'm so sorry, you guys. Why do you hate me?
I thought we were friends.
Yeah.
Now I have to look back at all of our previous interactions with a different light, because apparently we were never friends.
Yeah.
That sucks. Okay, so Jeremy is the winner.
Mm-hmm.
He wins. And him and his partner, I can't remember who it was, Aviv?
Jeremy was with Sydney.
Yeah, of course they won. She's also like she crushes at swimming. So yeah, they crushed. And he says that he's gunning for both Derek's. And this is when I was like, did I miss something? I sort of remember them beefing, but I don't remember it being like a huge thing. But he's like, Derek K voted against him, and gay Derek tried to rally the house to get him out. And I was like, yeah, I guess I think that happened, but I don't remember it.
I don't think they did a good enough job showing us the edits for that. It makes sense. Like, people should be gunning for Jeremy. That's very smart. He's incredibly good. If you want to win the final, you have to get your competition out of there. Yeah. So,
but they should be doing it smarter. You don't want the person to know you're gunning for them.
Yes. And it was actually around Jeremy when he was doing his confessional. And I saw some people talking about it on Reddit, which made me feel better. As I've just been very much noticing people's eyes, and they're using a ring light in the confessionals.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, because I am like, good God, everybody has the most stunning, like, eyes with this perfectly bright. And then Reddit was like, can they stop using the ring light? And I'm like, oh, that's what it is. Okay.
Yeah, they do that, and potentially some sort of filter. On Traders, they do it too. If you go back and watch, you'll see like in the confessionals, people on Traders look bonkers. Like their eyes are
Okay.
like, and I think it's a similar thing. Like it's just a way that they're editing confessionals these days.
Okay.
I think it's a stylistic moment we're in.
I'm not a
But
fan.
yeah, they do look like, even CT looks like he has beautiful eyes. I think he does have beautiful eyes, but like it's not like they're big glowing orbs
Right.
like they look in the confessionals.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, so we get to the after party, and Derek K is like getting really nervous because he's like, I have won a lot of arena challenges. What are they called?
Oh God. Welcome back to the
Eliminations.
Yeah, but he calls them something else. Maybe he does say
Arena?
welcome back to the arena. Yeah.
Yeah. He does say welcome back to the arena. And then anyway, so Derek K has won a lot, and he's like, I'm afraid that they're gonna put me in because they want CT out. And so they want me to come back and win. That's kind of the way he's thinking. He's like, if there was gonna be somebody that would beat him, they're gonna want to put a vet in because either way they're gonna want to vet out. So it's like, of the vets, I'm probably the most likely to go in because I'm the most likely to beat him. So he's getting really nervous. And D, at this point, we see like an apology between D and CT. And D is like, I've had an issue with you, blah, blah, blah. And CT is like, do you really think I was trying to send her home? Like, do you think I was trying to send her home? And at this point, I'm like, who's her? I forgot. I'm like, they actually do. They actually are sticking with the story that they think that he tried to send Lekka home for whatever reason.
They cannot believe that he was so out of shape he couldn't pull himself up that ladder. And I 100% believe that he could not pull himself up that ladder. I think he's like, I mean, on the one hand, CT, you know, you're clearly not as out of shape as you think you are, because they're all very confident that you could have done that.
Yeah.
So, and he's just like, no, I really did just suck.
I know, and he was scared.
Yeah.
So, I think, like, from what I felt like was happening was he just, like, he couldn't mind over matter it. He was like, I cannot convince myself that I'm not going to hurt myself climbing up this ladder.
Yeah, and I think that was part of it. But I do think, like, he's a big guy. He's very tall as well.
Right.
Like, it's hard to see that, but he's very, very tall. Then you add on, like, that he has gained weight. Like, that is a lot of upper body strength needed.
Yeah.
There's no way CT would humiliate himself like that to send Lekka home.
No, I mean, look how much flack he's getting for it. Like, people want him out just because now they feel like he's a flight risk of some sort. So,
and if anytime that anybody's thrown a challenge like that, just like Michaela doing it, that's only going to happen if your alliance has all agreed that's what we're doing. You're saying that all by himself, he decided, I'm going to go for Lekka. Why? It makes no sense.
I know. I feel like there's something going on that we're not understanding. Like, I think that D might be mad about that, but I think that there are people in the house that are just going along with it because it's convenient. It's a convenient thing to get on board with to try to get him out. They're like, I want him out because I know that he's actually an amazing competitor, so I'm gonna go along with this justice for Lekka thing.
Yep. This is also when Ashley, like, comes up with, like, what they should do and says, Bob's your uncle. Have you ever heard this saying before?
Yeah.
I have never heard this before. Ever.
That's really funny.
Do you know what it means?
Yeah, like, Bob's your uncle. Like, gosh, I wouldn't even know how to articulate it, though.
So like, I'm not going to read you this whole thing because it's way too long, because it does have an origin that goes all the way back to a prime minister named Bob. But it's a British expression that means, and there you have it, or it's as simple as that. It's often used after giving simple instructions, like just add hot water, stir, and Bob's your uncle. You have instant soup. So I had never heard it, so I had to go look it up.
That's funny. Yeah, so that's when she says Bob's your uncle. We also get... Yeah, so we get a conversation with Jeremy talking about who he's going to put in, and Derek K is like, oh, kind of trying to convince him, like, don't put me in, please. Like, I know that you don't like me, and I know that I said your name and like all of that stuff, but you know, please don't put me in.
And we also find out find out right then that Theo is cleared.
Yes, we find out that Theo is cleared. Is that when we find out? Oh, I think right out. right?
Yeah.
Also, Derek says justice for Lecca to the group when they're all like cheersing or whatever. And wait, oh, sorry. Okay, take that out. So last thing that happens at this big party is Nani, Michaela, and Ashley, Will, and Aviv are all talking. Oh no, sorry, this is when they get back to the house at night. So they're back at the house at night, and we've got Nani, Michaela, Ashley, Will, Aviv talking about how none of these guys want to be partners with Olivia. And this is where we get the sad, like she's like sad because she can overhear them talking about how they don't want to be partners with her or whatever. She like hears through the grapevine. We don't really know. They edit it to make it look like she can like hear them through the wall, which I don't think is how she heard it. But, you know, Cedric and Will are like, yeah, no, we do not want to be partners with her. She got a target on her back.
Yeah.
So we kind of get that confirmation. Okay, so we get to the jury the next day, and Jeremy and Sydney say that they're going to vote for gay Derek to go into the arena. And this was a little bit of a wild card. I mean, like, his name was floated, but then we didn't really hear them talking about him anymore. So I didn't realize that they were going to pick him, but sure enough.
Yeah, I didn't feel like they did a lot of, and maybe it was that simple for them and we didn't know it. Like maybe Jeremy and Sydney, you know, they just knew that's who they were going to pick. So maybe there wasn't a lot of discussion. But I agree. Like, I just felt like, oh, okay, okay. I didn't know that.
All right.
But let's do that then.
All right. Yeah. And he is also like a really good competitor. Apparently he's won a lot of eliminations, and so he's feeling like relatively confident considering he's going up against probably CT. But yeah, so they all vote, and oh yeah, I guess I just spoiled the vote. They all vote, and they vote for Derek to go in. The only person that doesn't vote for Derek to go in is John A. Because she said she will never vote for him.
Right. And she also says that she's pissed that nobody else there has the guts to have Derek's back when they've all said, you know, that alliance has agreed they're not going to vote for Derek. Once that alliance can tell that they don't have the numbers, they all just start saying Derek, except for her. And look, I appreciate your integrity, but once you don't have the numbers, the smart game move is to just go with it.
But what if that person comes back?
Again, if you're all doing it, if you know, like it's part of the game. Like if that's where Derek would have to understand the game. You would have to be able to tell him, I didn't vote for you until it wouldn't have mattered what I did.
Right.
You know, like you would have to
But it doesn't matter what she does. Like, why is it smarter? Because it doesn't matter what she does, because if he's still going in, but then she gets to maintain her like trust and alliance with him if he comes back.
Yeah, I guess because it's like you don't want anyone to necessarily. What we're not seeing is that everybody should be, hopefully, playing both sides of a lot of fences. You are not like telling your enemy, just so you know, we're gunning for you.
Yeah.
You know, you want there
unless
to be
turbo.
unless you're turbo. You want there to be like some, you know, where they can't see it. So by John A deciding not to vote for Derek, and she ends up saying Theo, right? Like, I just think, I don't know. For me, it's like, why show any cards at all if it's not going to matter?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I see what you're saying too. Like, then she, you know, she's the only one that Derek can feel like you had my back even when I was going in anyway.
Yeah, but it doesn't end up mattering because he ends up going home. And John A, like, I think you're right. In John A's case, she needs alliances in the house. She's not doing very well points wise. It doesn't seem like people like her very much. Whatever is going on, like, it's a really weird energy around her. So I don't know if she's picking up on that or not, but she came into the house being like, Derek is the only person I can trust. And so she's stuck with that. And I get that. But like, you're going to have to build some bridges before your only ally goes home. And unfortunately, it does not seem like she's done that because she ends up being partnered with the other most hated person in the house.
Yeah. And again, this is another moment where I just love CT, because when CT finds out that it's going to be Derek, he says, like, Chavez is so underrated. You know, I just love him.
Classy.
Yes. Yes.
It's classy. I know. I made a similar note, and he's like, I'm just going to have to prove it to myself and my son.
Yeah.
I didn't know. News to me.
Yeah. Yeah. He does have a little
Um,
one.
Yeah, but CT always like takes the high road. I don't know if he's always done that, but now he takes the high road. He doesn't say anything bad about people on camera. Maybe off camera he does, but to the camera he is remaining like he retains his good reputation, I feel like.
Yeah, and no, that's not who he was in his 20s, and that's okay. But it's who he is now, and I love it.
Yeah, same. So we get to the challenge. The elimination. And so it's going to be CT versus Gay Derek, and
It's a pole wrestle.
it's a pole wrestle. And boy, oh boy, this was a tough watch.
I want to know how long it actually lasted. I want the clock.
Yeah.
Because they tried to like drag this out. And my gut is like, we saw it all and in slow motion, and it was still only like a minute.
Yeah. I mean, he was flopping around on the other end of that pole like a rag doll.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, it's essentially just what it sounds like. They're both holding a pole, and normally they show like TJ holding the pole out. And it's like one puts their hand, the next puts their hand, one puts their hand, the next, right? So nobody has the upper hand, and then it's countdown and go. And whoever rips the hand out, and it's best 2 out of 3.
Mm-hmm.
Should you need 3? We didn't.
No, we didn't, because he got his ass kicked. Yeah, he got his ass kicked. Turbo even was like, it's like a bear and a sheep watching this whole thing go down. And I mean, Derek just gets his ass kicked. He does look like he's fighting for his life.
Yeah.
At one point you hear, I don't know if it's CT or someone else, say like, dude, Derek, bro, just tap out. And I thought it might be CT being like, dude, I don't want to have to keep flopping you around on this thing.
I really think it was CT that was like, just tap out. Because again, I think it was edited in such a way that you thought there might be a possibility that Derek stood a chance. But I think the reality was that there was no way. This was like a he who shall not be named backpack moment. Like this was happening. And I also just, again, loved that at the end, CT says any other elimination, Derek would have a chance. But unfortunately, just not this one.
Yep, totally. We love you, CT.
Yeah.
We don't like the hate you're getting. So
No.
Derek's final words are, Olivia, this is your game, bitch. Like, you got them in the palm of your hand. They are scared of you. He says, fuck you, Sydney.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, right after this is when TJ announces that the next challenge is an individual challenge. So we know going into episode 9, we're not going to choose partners because it's every man for himself in this next one.
Yeah. God, so annoying. I'm already annoyed thinking about this episode. All right, so here's the point distribution breakdown. Kayla with 38, Olivia with 32, Will with 33, Jeremy with 33, Sydney with 32, Cedric with 30, Anissa with 30. Wow, I'm surprised by that.
Yeah,
I didn't realize Anissa had so many points.
Well, I did once we got to episode 9. Like I think I went back and took a look after the fight we're gonna get to.
Oh, okay.
Because I wanted to see, somebody was talking a pretty big game.
Yeah.
So I wanted to go back and look. And I was like, interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. Adrian with 28, Justin with 25, Turbo 25, Leo 24, CT 23, America 22, Aviv 22. Wow, it's close. Nani 16, Jake 15, D 14, Tay 14, Ashley 13, Gabe 13, Derek 13, Leroy 9, Theo 6, John A 2.
Yeah, and the points, I mean, we'll get more to it, but they don't mean as much as, they mean something, but it's not like there's a real consequence for John A. But anyways, Who was your MVP and LVP for this episode?
You go first.
Who do you think my MVP is?
CT.
It's CT. It is
Gotta be.
100% CT. Like,
Yep.
he handled himself with class, with grace. He didn't, I've seen a lot of the times when, everybody's rooting for you to go home. Kind of, we saw this with Gabe. When they win, they gloat, they scream. They're like, that's right, baby, in your face, all that shit. CT still didn't do that. He was still just like, classy, kind, held his own, even though everybody was just picking at him, almost like you wouldn't have blamed him if he blew. He is 100% my MVP. My Lisa Vanderpump, my LVP was 100% Michaela. You threw a challenge. You were mean about it. I have zero respect for you, and I hope you lose the game.
Amen. Ditto. Exact same.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on to episode 9. So, are you ready?
Hold on. Can we take a pee break?
Yeah.
All right. I'll be right back.
Okay. I'll be here. I already went.
Oh, what? Before we get to episode 9, Lauren, I think we did tell everybody that we plan to recap Special Forces, and you and I are feeling like we may not now.
We've lost a little steam on the whole thing, considering that the person we were watching for is probably already gone, and the other person we're watching for is also probably already gone. Spoiler alert. So we won't, okay, this is your spoiler. If you haven't seen anything online, we haven't watched it, but we've already heard rumblings that 3, 2, 1, Brittany and Cody are both gone.
Yes, we know for sure Brittany is. We saw that we've seen it in the clips. And then there's rumbling that, Cody goes next. And this isn't a show that we would choose to watch if it didn't have those people.
Yeah. Like, The Challenge is basically a show I would choose, or is barely a show I would choose to watch, because I would really prefer to just watch people getting drunk and talking and fighting with each other. That's really what I'd prefer to be watching.
Yeah.
And speaking of, there's going to be a Summer House spinoff.
I'm willing to consider that one. For whatever reason, Summer House lost me. I was into it for a little bit, and then I don't know, it was around season 3, I think, that I was just or 4. I'm getting bored.
No. That's because you watched the wrong seasons.
Yeah, that might be.
But the new spinoff takes place, I think, in the city, and it's people that have grown. It's basically the Valley for Summer House. It's people that aren't able to summer in the Hamptons anymore because they're not 25. They have families or big jobs or whatever, and they can't so Lindsay has a baby, for instance, and there are people that aren't a good fit for the Summer House cast anymore, but that live in the city together and they're all friends, and so it's going to be kind of that kind of thing. So it's a little more adult.
Okay.
So I think it will be interesting. Lindsay's really good TV. She's pretty nuts.
Yeah, I think I stopped watching before Lindsay and the guy really became a couple.
Oh, Carl, yeah.
And I did kind of want to see what happened there, just so I could understand the lore behind the season that just came out that I watched because of you, and she announced she was pregnant and all that. So I am curious. I may eventually pick it up, but yeah, I'm just, there's some reality shows that I like so much that I get so excited about them that I lose my spark for others. I really want Traitors to be back on TV right now, and just miss Vanderpump, and so I've got to open my heart to other things.
I know. I think we need to make a decision that we are only going to watch and continue to watch shows that we're excited about watching. This is supposed to be fun. We should not be sludging through anything. So if we start watching a show and then we decide we don't like it, which I'm nearly there with this season of The Challenge, but this is the show we're recapping, so we're going to stick through this. But I think that we should have the right to change your mind. If
we did with Love Island. I think we did with Love Island. It just we were just I'm not here for it anymore.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Opening scene of episode 9, they allude immediately to cheating in this episode, which we will see later. We start out with the fight between Anissa and Ashley. And the rumors are that this fight was way nastier and got way lower than they showed on the episode. Apparently, it was not just Ashley body shaming Anissa for being like overweight in her opinion or bigger than she has been. I don't know her outside of this, so I have no idea. But apparently there were some pretty low blows according to Ashley's Snapchat. And then also like Justin saying, I think on podcast and some other people talking about like, yeah, they were talking about each other's daddy issues. They were talking about each other's drug addict problems. Like they were just really going there.
Yeah, I saw Theo did something where he talked about it as well. Now, right before we get to the fight, I just don't want to forget that we also see Will and Nani hook up again. And this is I thought it was, what's that?
I missed that.
Oh yeah, they show them hooking up again.
Oh.
And I thought it was funny that like, you know, production chose to show them going into the bathroom together and then made sure they put on the screen 7 minutes later. And then they come out. So yeah, then we get into the fight. And it starts because Ashley is basically saying that Anissa is delusional if she thinks that she has a chance to win in the finals. And I really liked that, again, from the edit that I was served up, it seemed like Anissa stood up for herself and for her body and for where she is in her life. And I absolutely am here for it. Loved it. It also seemed like, and again, I don't know because now we're hearing that there was more said, but it felt like Ashley was purposefully not saying the word fat, but saying everything she could to allude to the fact that it was about that, because she kept saying things like, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. I don't care how big you are. I'll still knock you out. It just kept like, I know the word that could possibly get me canceled. And so I won't say that word and then I can't be in trouble and I can like say I meant something else when it's very clear we all knew what the fuck you were saying.
Oh, I mean, I felt like she wasn't even really dancing around it. She just wasn't willing to say that word, but she was being very clear with her intention, which is like, you came into this game out of shape. Just like they're talking about CT, but you're just not allowed to talk about women that way. It is a double standard. But yeah, I feel like she was very directly going after her body. And Ashley said on her social media and stuff, like, I was really skinny and I still wasn't in shape. So it's not like I was saying just because she was fat, she wasn't in shape. I was just saying, she didn't say the word fat, but that she's not in shape, just like I'm not in shape kind of a thing. Like it wasn't.
You're a liar. You're a liar. It was about that.
Yeah.
And that's what you made it about.
I mean, there's a conversation to be had about the culture around fat phobia in our country and how like when you are bigger you are perceived as being out of shape, and that's not always the case.
You're not just perceived as being out of shape, you're also perceived as being lazy, as being less than, like there's so many pieces that go with it, obviously. I know, and so that is why it is so hurtful to be called that, because you're aware of all of the connotations that people have decided go with that.
Yeah, such a good point.
You know, so,
and Ashley's in a small body, a small person's body, and has never had to have that, like, I assume has never had to like live that reality. I'm sure people have come at her for being too skinny, which is like a whole different thing, but like, yeah, it was just fat phobia, like thinly veiled as whatever she was trying to veil it as. But I mean, her point that Anissa wasn't in good enough shape to athletically to win the challenge, if it's an athletic challenge at the end, is probably true. I mean, we got to see about 20 minutes later her running up that hill and she was at the very end. So like, if we are talking about athletics,
I actually feel like Ashley's entire theory is destroyed in this episode. And first of all, let's not forget Janae has won twice back to back, and she was in the same kind of shape that she is now, which I don't think is up to Ashley's standards. And the bottom line is that CT killed it in the challenge that we see next.
Yeah.
Because you're right. Like, I don't think it's delusional to think that Anissa could win, because if you cannot do well at these puzzles and you don't have the mental endurance to get through eating the gross stuff, all of that is going to come into play. Yes, you need to be physically fit, but
where she loses her argument is when she says, like, I'm in the best shape of my life. Like, when she makes the argument that, like, she's in better shape than, for instance, Olivia, when it's just like she has 15 years of seniority over Olivia. Like, she's just not going to be, even if she was in, which she might be, in like the best shape she's ever been in, but still she's not athletically in the same shape as a lot of the younger people are. CT makes up for it by being really good at everything else.
Yes.
You have to, everything else you have to crush at. And then maybe you can make up for it. Maybe. But it totally depends too. And I think, like, yeah, I mean, Ashley doesn't have a filter. So she's just going to say whatever the fuck she wants to say. And she loves to rile people up. So of course she was going to say something like that. And
I'm also not sure
anybody's feelings.
I'm not sure what her purpose was, because it does sound like, based on what I think it's Nani that says it, it seems like they're supposed to be in the same alliance. So I'm really unsure what, I don't know. Like, for me, it was like, this wasn't like Ashley trying to rile someone up for gameplay reasons. Like, it was just weird and mean.
Yeah, apparently she was very drunk. Not that that's an excuse, but just an explanation. Like, that was after being out at the bar, and I guess they were like at home getting ready for bed, because Justin said on that guy's podcast, he said that Ashley was 8 out of 10 on the scale of drunkenness.
Okay.
And that and that's when he said a lot more was said. So yeah, I mean, I think that they were all pretty wasted, and Anissa crying, she said, was not because of being called fat or whatever. It was because of the other things that Ashley said that didn't get shown, which I'm gathering context clues that she said something about her dad.
That's really,
You have no patience for that. You hate when people go low just to go low.
Yeah, I'm fine. Like, that is when you become, I'm fine if you don't exist, at least in my world.
Right.
Anymore. I don't want to know you. I have no patience for that. Again, I am a firm believer that this world is cruel enough all by itself.
Yeah.
So I'm not interested in anyone that adds to it for fun.
Well, Ashley is clearly a hot mess. Like, when you say, like, the world is cruel enough, like, hurt people. I was watching her, like, Snapchats and stuff that were posted to Reddit, and it's like, yeah, she's a hot mess. I don't know where she is right now, but it looks like she's in some sort of party house. She was drunk. She was, like, getting undressed and redressed on her Snapchat. Like, she was, like, in her underwear. Maybe that's just normal behavior for her, but for me, I was watching it being like, this is not like a 38-year-old or whatever she is.
Yeah.
Woman. This is a person who is, like, not mentally well.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And it was, love it or hate it, probably, for lack of a better word, the best drama we've had so far this season. So
Totally. And I love that people are talking about it still after the episode and clarifying things. Like, that's the kind of shit I love to see. One other thing that she said on her Snapchat, Ashley, is that apparently Anissa was taking Ozempic and it was in the fridge at the challenge house. And also, I think that had something to do with her being like, you're not in good shape. This is what she said. She's like, you're not in good shape. You're just taking Ozempic. That's not the same thing, kind of a thing.
Can we go through Ashley's bag and see what medications are not being refrigerated by chance?
Totally. I mean, she's just... And so then it sounds like after she said that on her social media, Anissa contacted the challenge or MTV's or whatever HR department.
Ooh.
So she reported her. I don't know for what, but maybe medical.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you had a medication that had to be refrigerated... if I was her, I would have done the same thing if the challenge didn't offer me a place to keep it refrigerated away from everybody. No, that's nobody's.
Okay, so also after the party, we get Jonna telling Sydney that she's only got 2 points, so she'll basically take anyone as a partner, and Sydney asks like, okay, well, who would you want if you could pick anyone? And then it kind of cuts. So we never learn who John A would want if she could pick anyone, but Sydney's kind of prying to kind of try to figure out, I think, some info.
Yeah.
Cedric and Turbo make a little agreement that they're going to go together, like be together until the final. What did you think about that?
Yeah, well, Turbo is saying it's going to be Cedric and Jeremy. Like, if it's the three of us to the end. I thought that was incredibly stupid. I have no idea why you would want three strong men to be, like, you're losing sight of what, this isn't the Olympics. It's not like I want to beat the best to know I'm the best. This is a game for money. You need to bring the weakest person in there to compete against so you can go home with the money.
Turbo is the definition of a dude who is like constantly just performing for other dudes.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. Like, it doesn't mean anything to Turbo unless like he can beat the best of the best. Like, this is not the show. This is not the show. Go be on something else.
Yeah. Get away from us.
Yeah. Yeah. We're not here with integrity. What are you doing?
Yeah, and I got the sense like, or Cedric didn't really have an option in that moment, but I didn't get the sense that he was like, oh, hell yeah. I think he was like, okay, well, I can't say no, obviously, so I'm going to say yes, but I'm not interested.
That's the biggest problem I think I would have on these games is that, yeah, you can't let them know. Like, you have to just agree with whoever's in front of you all the time.
Right.
You know, and then people are going to start talking and be like, but she told me this, but she told me this. And I, like, nobody asked me together. I can't talk about it.
Yeah. Bad liar. No. I'm a bad liar. I'd be like, oh God, I don't even know how to lie out of this. I'm just gonna.
Yeah. I don't remember what I said.
And you're like one of the first people to go, you're the chameleon and you're one of the first people to say a word. So you're like, water. And they go around and they like kind of forgot that that's what you said. But then they're like, wait, Lauren said water. And that's definitely not related to the word. Couch. What about her? And they're like, Lauren, just explain yourself. And you're like, I can't explain myself. I didn't know what the word was. I'm the chameleon. Fine. You got me.
No, you know what though? I've played it with you and that's not how you are. You're like, look, if you really think about it, it's going to make sense. Like once we reveal, you're going to realize exactly why I said water. Think about it, guys. It does relate to couch.
That's really funny. Okay. So, all right. So we get to the challenge and we learn that this is going to be a mini final individual challenge. So all their points are worth 1.5 points. So it gives people an opportunity to bump up quite a bit because this is their last chance to earn points before they can select their long-term partners.
And first place can earn 12 points. So yeah, you could be down quite a bit and have quite a comeback. Because TJ's explaining that it's the mini final and all that, I'm like, God, there is still a lot of people here. Yeah. I do see now, you know, at the end when TJ announces that from now on, every day will be a double elimination. The whole team goes home. Then I was like, okay, now I see how we're going to speed this up. Okay.
Yeah, like we need to raise the stakes a little.
Yep. And this will do it.
Yep. Okay, so the challenge is Broken Dreams. They have to race up a 6-mile switchback trail. There are 4 checkpoints. One is you have to memorize symbols. The second is a simple math equation that you solve at the top to unlock a box. Inside of the box is nutrition, quote unquote. And then there's a puzzle tower. And then there's like these chains that you have to like match up to be the same length. And then checkpoint 5, there's 5 checkpoints, is a riddle and a word. And then you race across the finish line. So It's a bunch of different types of challenges all in one: athletic, puzzle, eating, athletic.
Well, the puzzles are different types. Like you've got the memorization piece where you've got to memorize these symbols in order to solve the math equation. And then, the chains of the chains trying to figure out how to make everything the exact same length. I mean, it really is going to be everything. And I think where the physical part really comes in is also that you have to use brain power once you're also physically exhausted, you know, and that's like, you're just thinking about how I get oxygen, not how to do this math equation. Like,
by the time they're at the top, it's like your brain is barely working. There's no blood up there.
right. And the top 8 finishers will earn points.
I had a lot of beefs with this challenge, okay? Obviously, because there was cheating. There was people helping each other when this is supposed to be an individual challenge. That irritated me a lot. A lot.
Well, and when that first happened, I actually wrote the cheating question mark, because it's not unheard of for them to help an alliance member with something. But I wasn't really sure, like, if they were if this might be, they were considering this cheating, because it was just rampant with them being like, it's 222, it's 222,
Yeah.
it's 222. Yeah. And so I was like, okay.
Yeah, and like even the first thing, like Turbo gets to the first thing and he's like, where's the symbol? And asking people like where the symbol is. Like he couldn't even find the symbol. He would have never won without everybody else's help the whole way up. He didn't know that the word was. He, you know, like he's athletic. That's basically all he's got going for him.
Yes, this whole thing was, I felt like, just absolutely a complete fail by production.
Yeah.
Because you could have made it so everybody's combination code was different. There were such easy ways to fix this, and it very rapidly became a shit show. So that and it's hard to even want to recap the entire thing with the challenge, because it's all for nothing ultimately.
Yeah, because,
right?
Spoiler alert, they don't get any points because there's cheating. So TJ's basically like, scrap the challenge, and it's so frustrating. Like, I think part of the reason they had to scrap the challenge is because they didn't have footage. They didn't have the best footage of everyone, so they didn't know for sure if they caught everyone that cheated. And they can't be like, okay, the cheaters are out, because they have to make sure they caught all the cheaters. And I don't think they knew that for sure.
They also, it's not even just the cameras. It's the fact that if you go back and watch some of these earlier seasons, I don't know if you want to call them referees, but there's normally people standing everywhere watching what is going on.
No way.
Yes. Had they had, production referees there, how did they get to the bushes to throw the food?
Yeah.
You didn't have nearly enough eyes on them. So first, in the first one with the combination, everybody tells each other who they want to tell. They purposely, obviously, leave out. CT comes in second overall in this entire thing without help from anybody.
And no cheating.
I know.
He deserves to win this fucking season.
Yes, he does. Oh my God, can you imagine?
I would love it. CT, we're rooting for you, baby. Yeah.
That would get me so excited. Oh my God.
Yeah, so he gets second place, and he's like, him and Anissa are in the very back of the pack during the first part where they're just running. They're in the very back kind of running together. Sydney crushes. I mean, she's said from the beginning that she's an endurance athlete, and bitch, that girl's an endurance athlete. She was basically floating up that mountain. And I feel like her choosing Turbo is like not a good option for her. I think that like she's such a powerhouse. She needs to choose somebody who's a little less like intense, I think, but still, like, I think Cedric, for instance, would have been a really good choice for her if he was interested. I don't know. I see the two of them actually butting heads now that they're going to have to be like together.
Well, and I also think Turbo, like, he doesn't have the ability to remain like level-headed.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times with the final, it also includes an extreme lack of sleep. And I just have a feeling he will not be able to hold it together once those elements come into play. Like being hungry, he strikes me as the kind of person that doesn't miss a meal.
Yeah.
I just imagine he's someone who has to have everything like perfect in his life. He eats this much protein every day. He gets this much sleep. Yada,
very
yada, yada.
regimented and disciplined and like rigid. Yeah.
I could see it all go into shit very quickly when it's like you get 15 minutes of sleep and you're not eating. I could just see him becoming a little crybaby.
Yeah, totally.
I hope so.
So yeah, Will is right behind Sydney. Michaela's right behind Will. Theo's right behind Michaela. So like they're kind of, it's a bunch of the new threats kind of back to back running up this hill because they're obviously just in better shape. Like, period. There's no arguing with that. They open up the box of food and it's an onion, garlic, pepper, and ginger.
Yep.
And
Which
they
is
have to
hardly
eat-
the worst thing that I've seen them eat on the challenge. I mean, yes, it's bad. It's rough.
Yeah.
We use onion and garlic and everything. I can't imagine that being that bad, but it's not going to be pleasant. I'll grant you that. But of different things that I have seen them have to eat, this is hardly the worst.
Yeah. Now, what's your strategy? What order do you eat those things in?
I'm probably go. Did at any point they say they had to hold it down?
No, I don't think so. I think they're just allowed to throw up.
Okay. So the pepper will be my last. I'll probably go onion and garlic. I think I can get down pretty easily. Not pleasantly, but it'll go down. The ginger and the pepper are going to be my hardest. So I think I'm saving those and then doing them kind of together, knowing that I'm going to start barfing at that point.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I would throw up or not. I think I would do onion just because it's the biggest thing. And I just feel like you want the biggest thing to eat first. I would also break it off into pieces and swallow it. Break off everything into little chunks, just like you do with magic mushrooms. Doesn't everybody know the rules?
Do they get water to drink next to them?
Yes, they had camelbacks.
Yeah, even easier. Good God.
Yeah. So anyway, long story short, I would say, I think I would save the ginger for last because I think that would be the easiest one for me, and I think it would like cool off the spiciness of the pepper probably.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, fresh ginger to me is too strong. That would probably be my most challenging.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never had to eat a bunch of fresh ginger, but yeah, I'm sure it wasn't fun. But watching the way that CT powerhoused through that food, like I almost feel like the more dramatic people were making it seem, the more people were getting in their head about it. It's like you have to not think about it and you have to just think it's not that bad. I can do this or something. I think it was a lot of mind over matter that was making it hard for these people. And yeah, this is when we find out that like some of these people were throwing their food into the bushes, and they find out not because production, not because of editors, they find out because somebody goes over to throw up in the bushes and then sees a bunch of food full, whole, like onion, whole peppers, like all that stuff over there. And they're like, what the hell? And so then we see a flashback of D, and D is the only one that they seem to have caught on camera doing it. D throwing a pepper behind her. But we know that it was more than just D because there were a lot of pieces back there. And so now we're wondering, okay, who cheated? And now these poor suckers are still eating their onion and their peppers and everything, thinking like, these people already cheated and they're probably already on the last part already.
I would have been so mad. And I don't know that anybody would have done a damn thing about it had the people remaining not continued to call it out. Like, this is shit. Like, they didn't eat it. Otherwise, I think production would have just let it go. And it was shitty. It was really, really shitty.
Totally shitty. And the moment I saw that food had been thrown, I would have run.
Yeah.
I'm not sticking around to eat the rest of it. If I know other people cheated, I have no issues also cheating.
Well, and I think that was what John A. was doing. Like later on, her paranoia over what people think over what she did just doesn't make a lot of sense to me, because I think that is what happened to her, where she was just like, they all cheated. You're not doing anything about it. So I'm going. Yeah.
I'm not going to be sitting up here eating a pepper until the day I die while everybody else finishes this race with no onion in their belly at all.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's annoying. So, yeah, I wrote CT is munchin'. And he has gotten through this food and he is now in third place. So he has like made it from basically last with Anissa to third place. Yes. Jeremy is literally shaking when he's like check. And like his like body is shaking. I'm like, oh my God. And this is when they edit together that Will is going to want to pick Nani. And they're putting it here specifically because when we see the dinner later, like, and again, this is I only know this because I looked on Reddit and like have read more information, because otherwise the editing sucks. They need more narrative about what's going on, because yes, okay, I get it that Will wants to pick Nani. They're hooking up, they trust each other, whatever. And he doesn't later because he finds out that she cheated. So that's why they're putting it in here. But wow. It's like, tell us that. Like, yes, it's annoying that you don't even have to say she cheated. Just say he thinks she cheated. That's fine. That's good enough. But we need more narrative about what's going on. It's so annoying to like
I agree.
follow this.
Yep.
So anyway, yeah, and this is also like so annoying because the guys are all talking about who they're gonna pick, and like they do just talk about it like they have all the power and control. Like the girls aren't the ones with the top of the leaderboard, first of all. And like they will own the girl that they get to choose. It's just like the way that they're talking about just really gives me the ick. And like Turbo, the way that Turbo is talking about it, the way that Will talks about it, it's like they're not, you don't own them. They're now your partner.
Right. Yeah.
Piss me off.
Is that in the, as they're doing the mini final that that the confessionals are showing them talk about who they want? Okay.
And I think they were talking about it with each other or something. I don't remember. I just wrote down a note like the men feel like ownership over picking who they want. Like the way that they're talking about it is just bothering me.
Okay.
Whereas the girls are like, oh yeah, okay, so I could choose Cedric and I think he would be a good choice for these reasons. Like just the way I really think it's just like it's a microcosm of like the culture of the patriarchy.
Yeah.
And
I agree with that.
Bothering me.
Yeah.
Okay, so
then they go to the rotating puzzle pieces. Turbo solves that before anyone else even gets to the puzzle.
Yep.
And then Theo gets the puzzle and goes. CT ends up in 4th place when he gets to the tower thing. Then they go to the chains, getting those in the right length.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Ashley is, I love
confused.
watching her just flounder during all of this.
You know what? I'm like, bitch, how come you're so fucking cocky and confident when you have a partner to belittle? But when you're all by yourself, you're like, I don't know how to do puzzles. It's like, you are so annoying.
Yes, and every time she has a partner, if they don't win, it's the partner's fault.
Yeah.
You
Even
know?
though she can't stop screaming at them the whole time. Like, nobody can think under that condition anyway, Ashley. Like, you're ruining your own game. But now that you don't have someone else to criticize, suddenly you don't know how to do it?
Right. And she starts, like, yelling and being critical of herself, you know? Like, as if it's a partner. And I'm just like, girl, you are not. And there, even, like, earlier on when they started this challenge, there's a part where she's like, Anissa is kicking my butt on the leaderboard, so I have to work. And I'm just thinking, like, the fact that you acknowledge that and then think you had a leg to stand on last night is wild to me, but okay.
Yeah.
So I really loved watching her really struggle. And then it looks like it's, as we're watching Ashley struggle with the chain, so that's how far she and most of the group are. They're on the 4th checkpoint. Then it cuts to us seeing America and Straight Derek trying to finish.
Right.
Eating.
And they're not wanting to cheat because they're not sure if there's going to be a penalty, or I don't know, maybe they just like they want to play with integrity or whatever.
Right.
And so they don't want to cheat. You know, America specifically is like very determined to not give up.
Yeah, she talks about like, you know, where her parents are from and all these things they've overcome and struggles, and she's just like, I'm not going to cheat. I'm just not doing it.
Yeah.
And so then even as they are still wrapping up there, and we've got almost everybody else at the 4th one now, this is when it goes to some of them moving on to the riddle.
Right.
And I, again, obviously, Turbo would have stood there until the next day.
Yep.
It would have never happened for him. And I don't, look, even if it's a language barrier, I don't feel like you need to give him the answer. Like, we can criticize the fact that then he shouldn't be here for the riddles, just like CT shouldn't be here for the climbing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that Sydney's helping him because she wants him to have the most points. She wants him to be her partner, like all of that. But yeah, again, I'm like, Sydney, dude, you have helped him now with every part of this. So what makes you think that he deserves you as his partner?
Yes. And once again, CT and his heart of gold, he tells Will that it's purgatory, you know?
Yeah.
I just love CT.
Yeah, I know. He's so sweet. And at this point, also, he's like, Will is like pumping him up a little bit. I think CT was acting a little bit like, oh, I'm just an old man out of shape. And I'm like, that's actually really smart
Yeah.
because Will is the perfect person to like do that to because Will probably wants to feel like he's stronger and better and like, you know, manlier and younger and all that kind of stuff than you. And so it's actually going to make him feel better about himself to make you feel better about yourself. So I feel like it was a little bit of a strategic move. There are some rumors going on, like Justin said on that guy's podcast that CT was being very conniving. I think that's the word he used in the house. And that's why people were getting fed up with him, that he was like going to different people and saying different things or trying to get information. And it's like, isn't that the game?
Yeah, he's just better at it than you guys and doesn't have to be a dick while doing it. So you're calling it conniving because he wasn't like in your face rude about it. You know what I mean? Like, no, he was just a better game player and knew how to listen and maybe plant some seeds here and there. Own the fact that he wasn't in great shape and not like, try to maybe do what Anissa did and say, no, I'm not, and whatever. I mean, I just think right now he's playing an absolutely fantastic game, and he ultimately comes in second in this mini final.
If I were CT, I would be so pissed off. The fact that he wasn't, that Will gets to be pissed off, that other people get to be pissed off, but that he wasn't like, wow, fuck you guys for like ruining my opportunity. I just crushed that and now I don't get my points. Like he did not act like that, whether he was thinking it or not, which he should have been.
And once again, this is where I just feel like what a waste of time. Like what, just such a failure on the part of production, because this is where TJ says, we all know that he hates quitters, but he also hates cheaters. And he asks if anybody wants to fess up. And I guess he allows a 5.5 second wait time before he's like, all right, nobody does. So nobody gets any points at all. This was all for nothing. I thought this was just piss poor editing, a horrible decision. Like they could have, there's been times during the seasons where something has happened and TJ just shows up at the house. And it's bad if TJ shows up at the house. Like something has happened if TJ shows up. And so I was kind of waiting for TJ to show up and be like, all right, we've now had time to watch the footage. We know exactly who did what. Here are the consequences. That's kind of what I thought was going to, but nothing. It was just, this was all for absolutely nothing. Go on back. And just huge fail.
Yep.
And then go back to the house and you guys decide who you're going to pick because the points stand as they were before we got here.
Middle of the season, this is happening. I'm barely on board.
Yes. I really was just like, dude, just like admit you don't want to be doing the show anymore, then cancel it if you're not, because there were so many opportunities in this episode to draw viewers in.
Yeah.
And they just failed.
It sucks. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, and it's like, I want to know all who cheated. And I think the only reason we don't know is because they don't have the footage.
They don't know.
Yeah. They don't know. And people have been talking online about who, like other contestants have come out and said who all cheated. And I think I wrote down the list. Have you seen that?
No.
Yeah, it was like definitely Nani. It was a bunch of the vets, the women. It was mostly women.
Really? And it was mostly vets. Women. Wow.
I'm pretty sure it was Ashley, Nani, Dee is a new threat, right? I think she's a new threat, but is like functioning with that group.
If you're a vet, you're probably like used to there being like refs around you. You know where the you're probably aware. Oh, they're clearly not going to be able to catch who's doing this.
Right.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So
now we go back
for
dinner.
House.
Yep.
And this is when Janae is kind of spiraling and trying to justify her cheating to everyone. And she's basically saying like, we're all like they were all cheating.
Yeah,
But-
it's like she doesn't know if like everybody knows that other people were cheating and that's why she cheated. And does everybody think it's because she cheated? Because that she only cheated because other people. It was like a weird spiral she went down.
Yeah, somebody online said that she tends to get paranoid.
I think that's probably true. I think like,
Yeah.
there were seasons where she wasn't treated very kindly, and I think that has led to some of this.
Yeah, I can see that. There's something about her, I think, that like makes people feel like she's a target, an easy target or something. I don't really know.
Well, I think because she's won twice, in a row.
No, I mean like people see her as weak. Like I think that people I don't know, I think there's something about her that people are like, it's like a dog with a broken leg, like the other dogs are mean to it.
I think that's true. I mean, I think Johnny, she was the season she won, it was the upset of a lifetime. I mean, the other women that were there were, like it or not, so much stronger than her just physically. Yeah. And it was shocking. Yeah. But other parts of the final became more important. Right. And, so she won. And then to come back and win a second time. But she has always been one that on a lot of challenges has come not in first very often.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so then they have a really nice fancy dinner. Apparently there was a server per challenger. So everybody had a server standing behind them, handing their meals to them like that. Yeah, so they could afford to get a server for every challenger, but they couldn't afford to have referees on the 6 mile run.
Oh my God. That's annoying. And then I wrote down that I fall further in love with CT as he stands and asks the new challengers to talk about their experience being here for the first time. People love talking about themselves. And
CT knows what he's doing.
Yes. And I'm just like, I love him. I love him even more. And then straight Derek stands up and gives a wonderful toast to the new threats. Like, you guys are crushing it, and you're the new generation to take it over from us. And I'm like, God, these guys are coming off just great, and I hate the new threats.
I know. Yeah, they're all cocky and young and in their 20s.
Will won't share.
Yeah, and so when CT asks like the new threats to go around and talk about their story, Will is like, I don't want to.
Yeah, he's like, next.
And then he does this big speech. He's I understand that he's mad that Nany cheated, but he's so emotional.
It's weird. We're having this lovely dinner. We've just had a wonderful, nice toast. We've asked about everybody's new experience. We're just having a moment. And as soon as they're done with the moment, he's like, I really want to talk about who cheated.
Yeah, and I think that was like him indirectly calling Nany out. That's what it sounds like based on people on Reddit, like kind of saying like, yeah, he didn't say anybody's name because the person who he was talking to knew that he was talking to them. But at this point, like Nany has the ick. She's like, this guy cannot get his fucking emotions under control. And she does not want to be his partner anymore. And that's pretty obvious. And that's when CT is like, Will doesn't know it, but he just got dumped. But I think that Nany doesn't know it, but she's already been dumped.
Yeah, I think so. Although I bet Will would, I don't know, like as soon as he saw her talking to another guy, would want her back.
Oh God, yeah.
Immediately. So like he would just want her to reflect on the cheating and have more integrity than that. And what does that say about who you are as a person? And does that mean you cheat on me? Like he's one of those, that she's like, I'm playing a game. I don't know. I just didn't want to eat the onion. It's not deeper than that.
Yeah. Hi, Lila. Would you like to come sit up here? Come here. Yeah.
All right. So then anyway, we go to the next morning. Do you have any more from dinner, or do we go to the next morning when they're all strategizing?
Next morning.
All right. And Jake is saying he doesn't want to be with Johnny. It's for a minute, it seems like, I mean, I was really solid that Turbo and Sydney had decided to be together, but there was a moment there where it seemed like it was going to be Turbo and Dee. They're talking and aligning.
Yeah, he was just humoring her, in my opinion.
CT sits down to talk to Tay, and I loved his confessional where he was like, I feel like... So my kids are getting ready for homecoming, and my son yesterday was talking to me, and there's a girl that he's going to ask, and he's talking about, like, just thinking about how and all of that. And that is what this reminded me of. And CT even says it feels like I'm asking a girl to prom, and I'm like scared she might say no. But he basically is just asking her if like you want to maybe be my partner for the rest of the
I
game.
think like part of him is thinking nobody probably wants to be my partner because of how targeted he probably feels. Like it would be so hard to like maintain your sense of self when everybody's coming at you like that, and like maintain your sense of like, okay, no, I'm good at this, remember?
I know, and just remember that it's like, okay, this is just one thing. It's a game. It's okay. But yeah, I think like he wants to see if she wants to be partners, and I think he also is like, I don't want to make anybody be partners with me. If you think I'm gonna like, if I'm not gonna be good for you, it's okay. You can say it. And
I love. Like, I don't want to put anybody in a position where they feel like they have to say yes.
Yes, and I love that Tay is just like, of course I want to be your partner.
Perfect for each other.
Oh God, they win. I hope they win.
I know. I hope they win too. They would both so deserve it. I really, that's who I'm rooting for. I don't know if that's who I think will win, but that's definitely who I'm rooting for. And I want to see the hyper competitive and hyper athletic people. Like I want to see them hit their downfall with humiliation.
Yes. Oh my God, so much. I mean, like you and I have not loved this season, but I'm telling you right now, like I will be singing a different tune if I see CT and Tay pull this off and win, and I see like Turbo cry over no food and sleep. Like I will take back everything I've said, production. Right after that is when we get...
No. I'm sorry. No, we do not take back everything we said, production. They need to make a better show. We're barely hanging on, and the only reason we're hanging on is because there are characters that we like, despite the show.
Yes. And in fact, I probably will never watch again if they don't win, because then I'll be even angrier that production built them up this way, and it's the only thing you've given me, and then... yank it. Right after then, this is when we get Will and Nani talking. Girlfriend, these are all the red flags.
Yeah.
It was not...
He knows.
When she gets on her knees in front of him and she's trying to like get through to him that you're being too emotional, you're not separating the game and this, and there's a part where she gets on her knees in front of him and it's like taking his hands and like, just listen to me, please. Like, and I am like, no.
Could never be you.
You got to be done. You got to be done and walk away. He's toxic.
Yeah. He's the kind of guy where you get convinced that it's a special relationship because you get to see a side of him that most people don't get to see. And so you're convinced that like that soft, squishy part of that person that you get to see is like the person that would be on display if only they had the right people in their lives to pump them up and support them.
That's the real him.
Right.
That's the real
it's a trap.
Him. No. Right. Yeah. No. All right. I don't have much more other than like little things. Like Aviv kind of likes the idea of Will. Olivia likes Leo. And then I just have that we head on over to the arena.
Yeah, I think also Olivia is kind of deciding, like, is it actually a smart move for me to just pick Leo? Or should I pick somebody that is, like, more, like, because I know I can trust him and suddenly I'm getting worried that I can't trust anyone in this house? Or should I pick somebody that... Wait, Leo?
That's who Olivia says, yeah.
Yeah, because she feels like she can trust him. Or should I pick somebody that, like, is a good competitor for me? Like, a good person to compete with? Side by side. I feel like she's like kind of going back and forth, but she's just like not sure who she can trust anymore.
Yeah, and you know, we can go through who everybody picks, but I will say the one that like I was surprised he didn't see it was ultimately it is D that chooses Derek. And Derek is surprised by this. And he says she's been voting my people in, I've been voting her people in. I'm confused about why she would do this. And I actually think that it's a good strategy, because if I choose for my partner somebody that I haven't been aligned with, but that does have an alliance of their own, then I know my alliance isn't going to vote for me to go in the arena and go into elimination, right?
Yeah.
And I know his alliance isn't going to vote him in, right? And everything's going to be a double elimination. So it would be smart to choose someone, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally know what you mean. I think that he was confused because he doesn't like her.
Yes, that's a
I don't
good
think
point.
he likes her. And so he's like, this is random. Like, we don't really like each other. It's not just that we have different alliances. I kind of got that vibe.
Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, if he's just like, I fucking hate her. Why are we doing this? I thought she hated me
he
too.
does say, he's
Yeah.
like, we borderline don't like each other. And I think he was being nice when he said that.
Yeah, Derek is definitely one that wouldn't. It takes a lot for him to like say, I don't like this. Like, he's just not like that.
Yeah. So yeah, Jeremy wins the tiebreaker against Will, and Will is once again pissed.
By the way, I did see, no, I forget where I saw it. It wasn't Reddit, it was somewhere else. But basically, production did make a lot of mistakes this season. And one that somebody talked about on a podcast was that they had no plan for in the event of a tiebreaker. Like, this was thought of very quickly because they had literally not thought that that could happen. Just FYI.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so Michaela has the most points out of anyone, so she chooses first, and she chooses Cedric. Jeremy picks Aviv, and Aviv says that Jeremy has some social issues. That's what she says in her confessional. She's like, he's a great competitor, but has some social issues that we'll have to work on, and I'm wondering, like, is he pissing people off in the house, and we are once again not seeing it, or
maybe
what is
just
she talking
not.
about?
I got the impression maybe he just wasn't spending a lot of time with anybody.
Oh, I can see that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's
Yeah.
just like, I'm here for the game. And because you didn't see him in the workout room in the middle of the fight. You don't see him in the kitchen strategizing a lot. Like, I could see him just like, you know, going
Yeah.
for a hike all by his lonesome, and that's it.
Yeah, that's so true. Olivia decides to pick Will. Sydney picks Turbo, and he has the fucking audacity to say, if I'm going to make her a champion, then she needs to shut her mouth. She needs to shut her mouth?
I would never watch again if Turbo wins.
Fuck that guy. Anissa picks Jake, and so I'm like, I guess they're getting along.
I
now?
guess so. Yeah.
A lot of these people, I think, some of these people went into it knowing who was going to pick who, and some of these people thought that they were going to get picked, and they weren't.
Yes.
So they're like game time deciding on somebody else, I think. Adrian picks Theo, and it does not seem like, for instance, they agreed upon that. I think Adrian was just like, I'm picking somebody.
Yep. I did too.
Yeah. Justin picks Nani, and in a confessional, Nani says that she thought Leo was going to pick her. So she's a little confused. Leo picks Ashley.
He does say she's strong, but she's a crash out. And I felt like that was such a great description of Ashley as a crash out. But yeah.
Yeah. CT, America, Leroy, D, Derek. This is when Derek says he's confused and that they borderline don't like each other. And this is when like they put like the flames of hell behind TJ, and he laughs and like the devil's behind him.
Yeah.
Gabe and Johnny. And neither of them are happy about this. But Gabe is being a particularly like rude jerk about it.
Yeah, this is the first time that I've seen behavior that has made me like, I don't know that I like you anymore.
No, I don't like him.
And we did for a while.
Well, we were rooting for him to become good.
Yes.
I don't know if we ever liked him, but we felt bad for what was happening for him, and we sympathized with how much that must suck, and we hoped that his goodness would shine through, but it seems like he's kind of an asshole. And
this is when TJ announces that going forward, they will be eliminated in pairs. So there will be no more. Now, we don't know what that's going to look like yet. So it could still be that next we watch next week and it's a girls' day, right? Yeah. And there's going to be girls in the elimination. But if your girl loses, you both go home. They've done that before. Yeah. So we'll have to see what they have planned. And then as it shows us some stuff coming up We see that Nani and Anissa are going to get into a fight. We see that there's a point where TJ asked if anyone wants to stake a claim on someone else's partner. So we don't know if there's going to be a mix up there. I was a little confused when one of them, I don't know if it's Olivia that says it or if Theo says it to Olivia, but they're like, is there a mole in the house? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, you're just in pairs. You're all fighting each other. I don't know. That was just like,
Yeah, what do you mean?
I'm not sure I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean a spy? Nobody's on your team except for your partner. That's it.
Yeah.
Anybody else is a mole.
Yeah. Okay, so one last thing that Justin said on that podcast is he said that people started to notice Olivia slowing down towards the end of the season and started to wonder if she was okay. Like, her game changes.
Well, and that's because she's pregnant.
Right, yeah. And he's like,
but I mean,
we didn't know that she was pregnant during it, but she was pregnant during it, and you notice her slow down.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. You're only there like 2 or 3 weeks, and she thinks she got pregnant while there.
Yeah.
It's wild to me that quick. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I don't know that it couldn't have also been emotionally based, because she does seem to start, I think she's felt very confident for a long time. And whether she overheard it or they came to her, finding out that people were talking about her the way that they were, I think really impacted her.
Yeah.
So I don't think that she should be ashamed. I mean, if you want to say it was the pregnancy, and I mean that by if she wants to say it was the pregnancy, run with it. I don't care. Yeah. But also, I would not judge you if it was also like, yeah, I felt really confident, and then it was shitty to know that I was completely not perceiving things the way that other people were.
Yeah.
That'd be fine too.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember when I was pregnant, like how soon I felt like nausea and stuff. I want to say that I was like a few weeks.
Okay. All right. But, I think I was like at 5 or 6, you know, before. I think 5 or 6 is when I remember being like, I could nap at noon.
Right.
You know, like I'm so tired.
Yeah. Oh, good times. And then the last thing was that Justin thought that Olivia was going to pick him. So he went into that pick thinking that he was going to be picked by Olivia and didn't have a plan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
He said he thought he was tight with a lot of people that he learned he was not tight with, evidently. So, yeah. And also he said that he didn't really grow up watching The Challenge, but his mom did. And so she knew, and she knew all of, I know, does that make you feel old or what? So she was like fangirling. They FaceTimed his mom on the podcast episode, and she was like fangirling, and she like couldn't get a sentence out. But that his mom warned him about different players that were going to be on the season and like told him about people because he didn't really have any context for anyone.
You know, what's funny is that I've been obviously watching for a long, long time, right? And I would never want to, I know, I would never want to meet he who must not be named.
Yeah.
For me, it would be like it was when I met Jax. Like, any part of me that enjoyed watching you on my TV is ruined if you're that much of an asshole to me.
Yeah.
Like, now I really don't want to watch you. And that's how I felt with Jax, was I was like, Schwartz did such a good job making me be like, I'll watch you on anything. You are so nice. And Jax was, and that is how I feel it would be. I say that because Justin being on there, like, if I was Justin, I'd be like, no, Mom, you don't want to talk to him. Because he's gonna act like, I am willing to grace you with my presence. Hello, how are you? Thanks for being a fan. You know, I can't. Yeah.
You're not better than me.
And I get it. Like, you know, he could hear this and be like, you want to talk about how many views I get on my podcast versus how many views you get on yours? At the end of the day, I'd still rather be the person I am than the person you are.
Yeah, I want to hear from your closest friends and family about how you are the type of person that shows up anytime somebody needs you, or you're the type of person who calls just to say hi and see how people are doing during their worst times, or you're the type of person who goes above and beyond for your friends and family when they need something. I have a hunch that that's not the way that people would probably talk about him. He's probably the life of the party. He's probably a lot of fun. He's probably a lot of drama. He probably is. There's probably never a dull moment. All right. Well, that's it for our challenge doubleheader. This will be coming out to your ears soon. I guess if you're listening to it, it's out into your ears. We will be back next week with our episode recap for episode 10. And in the meantime, guys, please like, subscribe, follow, comment. We love you, and we will see you next week.
Bye, guys.